It's November 3rd, 2020, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxell. We finally made it! Today's the day when Americans, well, other than the 100 million who early voted or absentee voted or mail-in voted, go to the polls to vote. And while other news outlets will cover the election long into the overnight hours in order to bring you up to the second results, Sketchworks NewsBrake will not be doing any of that, because we're lazy. And besides, do you really think we're going to know who won this thing anytime soon? However, we can safely say your fringe third-party candidate will not win. So, sorry to any of you Prohibition Party members. No matter who wins today, from the presidency to the House and Senate races, governors, all the way down to your local representatives and city council members, one thing is certain. They are all terrible people. Election Day's arrival may finally stop the political text messages and robocalls you've received for the past several months. Look for those to be replaced with text messages and robocalls inviting you to take part in post-election unrest. There are many factors which go into predicting the outcome of a presidential election. Experts painstakingly review voter trends, candidate approval evaluations, and grassroots polling data. All of that hard work, as we found out 4 years ago, doesn't amount to squat. However, there is one predictor which has been 100% accurate since 1984. Halloween mask sales at Johnny Brock's Dungeon Party warehouse in St. Louis, Missouri. This year's results: the store sold more Trump masks than Biden masks. But this year's results may be skewed slightly, as the store counted pumpkin mask sales as being for Trump and skull mask sales as being for Biden. Republicans in Texas are suing to have 127,000 votes in heavily Democratic Harris County thrown out because they were cast via drive-through polling sites. The plaintiffs said they had no problem with the voting, just that poll workers did not offer them fries with their ballot. For his wife's 40th birthday, presidential hopeful Kanye West surprised Kim Kardashian West with a hologram message from her deceased father, Robert Kardashian. The message said, "You're 40 and all grown up. You look beautiful. I'm so proud of you. Happy birthday. By the way, OJ did it." Kanye then announced the hologram as his running mate. Walmart is taking firearms and ammo off their shelves in anticipation of civil unrest surrounding tonight's election results. Conservatives are incensed that after 12 years of screaming about Democrats taking away their guns, it was Walmart who betrayed them. Most of us are already stressed thanks to the insanity that is 2020, but this election has most definitely added to the stress. For a first-hand account of how to deal with it all, let's check in with Sketchworks correspondent Annika Coleman. What is your foolproof way to deal with Election Day?
Alcohol.
That's it?
If you have something harder, I would go with that.
Fortunately, my resting blood alcohol level is 0.11, so I'm feeling pretty good. The Girl Scouts of America tweeted this week. Then they deleted that tweet because some people didn't like it. Then even more people saw that the tweet had been deleted and didn't like that either. For some reason, all of this information is considered news, and my reporting on it is considered journalism. What has this world come to? Former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb predicts that the Thanksgiving holiday will be an inflection point for the pandemic. When asked for comment, God said it was the only way he could make the post-election Thanksgiving even worse. A Sunday report revealed that Prince William had been diagnosed with COVID-19 back in April, saying that he had struggled to breathe and almost couldn't fulfill his royal duties of posing for Us Weekly. Whitney Houston made history this week by becoming the first black artist to have 3 diamond certified albums, whatever that means. For those of you who don't remember, Whitney Houston died in February of 2012, which heralded the start of that year, and every year since, being the worst year ever. But still, she achieved this feat after being dead for over 8.5 years. So come on, lazy millennials, what's your excuse? In more celebrity news, on Monday, actor Johnny Depp lost his libel case against London's Sun newspaper. Depp sued the paper for referring to him in an April 2018 article as a wife-beater, in reference to his tumultuous marriage to actress and model Amber Heard. In essence, the court concluded that Depp is, in fact, a wife-beater, which means tank tops, heretofore called wife-beaters, can now be called Johnny Depps. In even more celebrity legal news, Aunt Becky finally went to jail this week for her crimes of being a good parent and doing everything she could to give her daughters a chance at success. She'll be out at the end of December, just in time to see this horrific year come to an end. In legal news not involving celebrities, a New Hampshire woman facing drug and stalking charges posed as a prosecutor and dropped the charges against herself. Feminists are calling it the first recorded case of a woman gaslighting the entire justice system. A recent study on COVID concluded that flying in an airplane is safer than going to the supermarket, which is why I do all of my grocery shopping off the Delta Sky menu. Staying with flying in the age of COVID, a woman aboard a Spirit Air flight from Newark, New Jersey to Puerto Rico was tasered when she refused to wear a mask. The woman was one of Spirit's flight attendants. Angela Nava of Richmond, Texas caused quite a stir this Halloween holiday when she set up a skeleton stripper club display on her front lawn. But don't worry that you missed it, because if you're in Atlanta, you can see the same thing down at the Claremont Lounge 6 nights a week. Watch out, large intestines of America, because McDonald's is bringing the Mcrib back. The company will sell its cult classic of a sandwich starting in December. If the Election Day results don't cause our country to collapse, the Mcrib will. A 33-year-old Bronx man fell into a New York City sinkhole, which opened up into a rat-infested basement. The rats protested against the man moving in, saying their neighborhood used to be affordable and full of local flavor. The Daily Mirror is reporting that a dog named Dodo was reunited with its owner. This after the 7-year-old dog walked 37 miles home after being left at a gas station. In parenting, forgetting you left a 7-year-old 37 miles away at a gas station would be called neglect. But with pets, it's a heartwarming story about being reunited. We now have that extra hour we lost to daylight saving time earlier this year. With America back on standard time, we now have an extra 60 minutes on our hands. Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard shows us how that extra hour changed his day.
Boy, what a great day. Just think of all the things I'm going to do now that I have that extra hour.
A few moments later.
Thank you, Tim Millard. That's also how I spent my extra hour. A New York man is suing Canadian donut icon Tim Hortons for emotional distress after he found a hair in his breakfast sandwich. He says he expects better, especially since his breakfast sandwiches from McDonald's usually come with both hair and spit. Speaking of lawsuits, a group of comedy clubs is suing New York over the city's COVID restrictions. Sketchworks was barred from participating in the lawsuit, however, not because we aren't from New York, but because we didn't qualify as comedy. A recent study shows that 1 in 4 dentists has been physically assaulted by their patients. The same study also showed that 1 in 4 New Yorkers has been physically assaulted by Alec Baldwin. You can now easily see what your doctor is writing about you. Many hospitals and healthcare providers decided to beat a federal deadline to give you free electronic access to your doctor's notes. Trying to understand what your doctor wrote will require another act of Congress. NASA is celebrating the International Space Station's 20th anniversary. Astronauts first arrived in 2000 when the ISS was only 3 rooms. It now has enough rooms and other accommodations to gentrify low Earth orbit. And while we're in space, an international team of scientists has discovered what is called a rogue planet in our very own Milky Way galaxy. The planet, roughly the size of Earth, is termed rogue as it is free-floating in the galaxy, completely unattached to any sun. Sort of like John Gosselin, if you remember him. In Broward County, Florida, a 10-foot Burmese python was found under the hood of a Ford Mustang. The python said the engine was making a clicking noise, and it got under the hood to check it out. Turns out one of the push rods had come loose of the rocker arm on the camshaft. The python was resetting the push rod ball end in the radius cup when police arrived. After explaining the situation, Broward County deputies assisted the python, and the Mustang is running like new again. Scientists say that the population of an endangered North Atlantic whale dipped by 4 this year after the death of several whales and after one whale's brave transition to a catfish. For the first time in its 51-year history, Cracker Barrel will serve alcohol in its restaurants. It's also the first time in 51 years, after being served 3 drinks, that Grandpa told the server he knows how to work the wooden triangle game on the table. He just needed a demonstration of how to jump a peg. In Generation Z news, TikTok is not banned yet. A judge postponed the president's attempt at banning the social media app after a lawsuit was filed by several creators, claiming the banning of the app would be an infringement on their right to free speech. TikTok released a statement on the matter saying they are deeply moved by the outpouring of support from our creators, who have worked to protect their rights to expression and our ability to harvest valuable data from young Americans. And as the plane flying overhead indicates, that's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. We may even know the election winners by then. I'm Brian Troxel. Say hi to your mom for me.